Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back with another true crime video, and today we are going to be doing the story of Nosipho, Msithini, and Velly Simbarara Twala. Now, if you're new to this channel, I try and do these videos often, so please do check out the playlist. I've done a couple already, and I will be doing more in the near future. And with that said, and without wasting any more time, let's dive into today's video. Today's video takes us to New Village in Barberton, Mpumalanga. Nosipho Msithini was born on the 2nd of August in 2003 in Barberton. She grew up in a home with a very strong extended family presence, surrounded by her aunts and uncles, as well as her cousins, and had a very modest upbringing. Growing up in modest communities such as where Nosipho grew up, often children spend most of their times outside in the streets with friends and amongst neighbors. Now, in such setups, it's not uncommon for children to be shaped by their peers and the community, regardless of what they were taught at home. Nosipho went to school in the area, and in her early teenage years, she started dating. But at the time, she was still dating boys within her age range. However, by the time she turned 17, she had met a man who was almost 20 years older than she was and had started dating him. The name of this man is Velly, but also known as Simbarara within the community, and his surname is Twala. Velly was an artist but also worked as a cobbler, so basically he fixed people's shoes for a living, and he was also said to dabble in illegal activities here and there. So he met Nosipho, and the two of them almost immediately started dating, and things moved pretty quickly between the two of them, and within no time 17-year-old Nosipho was spending almost most of her time at Velly's place. The relationship was not a good one in any shape or form, as you would imagine. I could even go as far as saying Velly was grooming Nosipho, considering he was almost 20 years her senior. With his influence, Nosipho started dabbling in substances and is also said to have had Velly's name tattooed on her body. As if that's not enough, very soon into the relationship, Velly started laying his hands on Nosipho, to the extent of which Nosipho's family started to intervene. The family was able to get him arrested and opened a case with the police in Barberton. However, this case did not go far, and within no time, Velly was out and about because he was led out by the police, and Nosipho and him had gotten back together.
Kodwa sinesikalo nje sokuthi ekulimaleni kwakhe kokuqala ngoba lo muntu akaqala ukuwamlimata lo mntwana wamlimata nasekuqaleni kuhanjwa kwayovula licala kwaba nje ukuthi amaphoyisa akazange akukhombise ukuyithathela idumo kanti thina besilinzele ukuthi njengoba siva ukuthi uhulumende wethu uthi indzaba ye-gender based ufuna ukuyihambisa phambili kodwa kulo wethu umntwana akuyenteki.
The whole thing happened for over a year, and in February of 2023, Velly and Nosipho were still together at this point. Nosipho was 19 years old and Velly was 38 years old at the time. And on the 19th of February 2023, the couple was spending the afternoon together at Velly's place. Velly was busy fixing shoes for his customers, and the couple got into an argument. This was nothing new. According to neighbors, this was very common. The couple was known to get into arguments often. As a result, it didn't normally raise any alarms. So nonetheless, as they were arguing, one of Velly's friends comes in. This friend had brought Velly this new substance that he had and wanted Velly to try the substance out. They then all took the substance, including Nosipho, and within no time, Velly was passed out. This was during the day. So basically, Velly passes out. Soon after, Nosipho is also said to have passed out. So they then slept for the rest of the day. Towards the early evening, Nosipho then becomes the first one to wake up. As she wakes up, she was like, you know what? She wants to go out. Considering the fact that she had been arguing with Velly during the day, she was like, you know what? For my own peace, let me go out and go meet up with my friends and leave Velly because Velly is still sleeping. She gets ready and then goes to meet up with her friends in a local tavern that is not too far from where Velly stayed. When she got to the tavern, she got some drinks. She met some of her friends. She was talking to everyone, talking hugging and greeting everyone that she knew. So while all of this is happening, one of Velly's friends then spotted Nosipho talking to a man named Jafta. Jafta is known to be Nosipho's ex-boyfriend. And when Velly's friend saw that Nosipho was speaking to her ex-boyfriend, immediately he left the tavern and made his way to Velly's house. So when he got to the house, it's around 10 p.m. at this time. He gets to the house, he starts knocking at the door. Velly is completely passed out. So he wakes up now from this deep sleep because he was knocked off by the substances that they had been using during the day. So he wakes up and this friend is like, I saw Nosipho. Nosipho is at the tavern and she's with Jafta. To say Velly was extremely ticked off by this is an understatement. He started venting about how he doesn't know why Nosipho left him sleeping, first of all, and to go to a tavern to meet up with her ex-boyfriend. And this is apparently not the first time she's doing this. And he was just venting and he was so frustrated by this. So without even fixing himself or washing his face or getting ready to go outside, the only thing he did, he took a knob kerry and he rushed to the tavern. I'll make sure to put a picture of what a knob kerry is, but he took that knob kerry and rushed to the tavern. When he got to the tavern, he did not say much. He just rushed towards Nosipho, who tried to run away, but unfortunately she couldn't. He got to her, he pulled her, and he dragged her from the tavern towards the direction of their home. As he was dragging her home, he then started using the knob kerry on her continuously for a number of times until she unfortunately was completely motionless. It is then said, as he was doing all of this, he was smoking. He took the cigarette out of his mouth and basically put it off by pressing it on top of her lips. And then he proceeded to then drag her all the way home. When he got home, he took a black sports bag. He stuffed her into that sports bag. The plan was that he was going to then go and dispose of her the very next day. So in the morning, he then managed to find an old trolley. This trolley didn't have the actual baskets that you put inside the trolley. It was just the skeleton of the trolley. So he finds this trolley. He puts the black sports bag on top of the trolley and then he starts pushing it. He's trying to look for a place within the community where he can dispose of the sports bag. As he's pushing this cart, trying to find an area to dispose of the bag is dripping. And people then notice that, no man, there's a red liquid that is coming out from this bag that this man is carrying. Members of the community then decided to approach him. They asked him, what's that? What's that red thing that's coming out of your bag? And Velly just said that, no man, I'm disposing of my pit bull. A pit bull passed away, so this is the carcass. I'm trying to find a place where I can dispose of my pit bull. And obviously the community members were like, no. They said, you need to prove it. Open the bag. We want to see what's inside. We want to confirm for ourselves that what you're saying is true. At this time, people were suspicious because some of the community members had actually seen him the previous night dragging Nosipho home. So like now, they were putting two and two together saying something sinister is happening here. Velly had no choice but to open the bag because at this point, members of the community were fully surrounding him. When he opened that bag, the members of the community gave him no chance. They literally gave him no chance to run or do anything else. As soon as they realized that it was not a pit bull in that bag, but in fact it was Nosipho, they immediately started dealing with him physically in an effort to at least try and get some sort of justice for Nosipho. Police were called. By the time they came, they couldn't make an arrest because they needed to take him to hospital because of what the community had done to him. Unfortunately, when it comes to Nosipho, she was unfortunately too far gone and the forensics had to be called to take her, and a few days later she was laid to rest by her family. It took quite some time to recover in hospital, but once he was fine, he was immediately arrested, and I'll make sure to put a video of him coming out from hospital to his first court appearance. When he got to court, he was appointed a lawyer and he pleaded not guilty to all the charges that were laid against him. He came up with multiple stories as to what happened to Nosipho in his defense. In one, saying that it was Nosipho's ex-boyfriend that had taken Nosipho's life, not him, and that he was framed and given the trolley with the bag, not knowing what was inside. Because his defense team was advising him to plead differently and was not showing much confidence in his story, he then decided to terminate the services of his legal representation and opted to represent himself in court without a lawyer. With the decision to represent himself in court, Velly made a joke of the whole court proceedings. On some days, he would come to the Mpumalanga division of the High Court and he would just say that he's not going to say anything. He'd simply say that he's not in the mood to say anything, or he doesn't have something to say on that particular day. And that was it. And the thing is, he was required to talk. He is presenting himself. He needs to state his case, and he would simply say, not today. On days where he was not communicating that he's not going to be saying anything, he would literally just say he has a toothache. He had a toothache for some time. They would come to court and he would just say he has a toothache. And because he's representing himself and he's required to speak, then the proceedings would have to stop for the day. And he did that for quite some time. Got to a point where the judge said that if you're not going to be, one, either hiring new lawyers, or two, contributing to the proceedings in any shape or form, then they would have to go on without him. They were then going to take the statement that he had initially given the police and the statements from the witnesses that were coming in to testify, and they would conclude the case via that. That's exactly what happened, and he was then found guilty on all charges, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. On that note, that is where we are going to be ending today's video. Please remember, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you have any video recommendations, you can comment them down below. And that's it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.